build your brand, because each and every one of these women have done it and is currently doing it even more and even bigger, right? So I'm going to stand here with my tea. Is that all right? Yeah. And Sister Madonna's going to support me to hold it all together. So Sister Madonna, who's the first sister that we're going to bring to this stage?
So how many of you know that there was once a time when people told you your fitness had to look a kind of way? There was only one type of fit woman, and she was not returned. She was particular, she was petite, she was short, but somebody who broke the mold on all of that, opened up the industry for so many and freed so many of us so that we can see ourselves as fit, beautiful, powerful women, yes? Now I love Anawa because as soon as she walked in the door and I saw her and I said, ooh, yes. Aren't you gorgeous? Aren't you beautiful? And aren't you stunning? We need to show it with presence, and that's exactly what she does. She is an absolute fitness expert and a motivational speaker. And when I asked her, what brought you to this journey, she said, ooh, motherhood was her first thought. Then she said, struggle. How many of us know that part of our breakthrough is coming out of struggle? Come on, please give a huge round of applause for Anawa. Big round of applause.
And I love Anawa because on her own, and having that struggle and being that mother, she's been able to increase her influence. Everybody say Facebook?
Facebook.
With over 1 million followers. She's influencing and reach, which means she has like 5 million people that she gets to touch. Isn't that inspiring?
Yes.
All right.
Didn't I say she was gorgeous?
If you were here for her demo, raise your hand really, really high. Y'all see those things she was doing? Jeez. All right.
So next, I want you to join me in welcoming the CEO and owner of Biz Underdog to Top Dog, Miss Nikki Lewis, who's been rocking around with us all year long. She has gotten her products in major retailers and outlets. How many of you have a product or a business that you want to get into a major store? Raise that hand high, own it.
How about we talk about those stores? Whole Foods, Giant. Nikki Lewis is able to do that with her own influence. You understand? So sometimes they say you gotta wait for somebody, you gotta wait for something. And what I love most about Nikki is Nikki said, I'm going to do. And she did it. And not only in one location, but two, and it had the nerve to launch another empire. So give it up for Miss Nikki Lewis.
Woo-woo!
It sounds good so far? It still gets better. Say better.
Better.
So next up we have, please joining us, Macy Dunbar, who is an international beauty expert. How many of you want to be influencers in your industry, deep in your industry, so that the market, the community, come on, you see how she walks up here? You see that? She is the owner and CEO of Macy Dunbar Spa and Lounge in Silver Spring, Maryland. And when I say international beauty expert, I do mean exactly that. She's going to talk about how she was able to grow and influence in her industry to make it the powerhouse that it is. And I cannot wait to hear a little bit more. So round of applause, please.
So I love Macy because we were talking. You ever heard of a continent called Africa?
Yes.
Why would a beautiful woman want to create a cosmetic line in Africa? Give it up for Macy. She thinks that all women should have a chance to be beautiful. And why just if we have something inside the States, we are international women, yes?
Yes.
All right, talking about international women, Madonna, who's our next international superstar?
One of my favorite people to introduce right now, because how many, which year is this for this particular event? What year? Who knows? 13. So for 13 years, women who started off at 17, 18, and 19 years old with an idea, with a passion and a purpose have been pushing forward. And how many of you know that you never know how your paths will cross? So the next person coming to the panel was one of our first speakers, almost 13 years ago.
I want to go a little deeper, not even first speakers. I remember this woman bringing us cookies. Like, seriously, she was being a supportive sister. Give it up for just sisterhood. She just
yes.
I know I'm a little, behind, but I had to come and show you love and support.
She has created international natural hair care events. She has been an entrepreneur for well over 20 years at this point, creating a very profitable hair care business, Dreads and Heads, in Baltimore, Maryland. She's on her way to Ghana. Someplace else that I can't remember we just talked about. So she's really into her craft, and she is showing how she's moving from starting small to moving across the world. Please give it up for Malika Cooper, the founder and owner of Baltimore Natural Hair Care Day.
Islands, doing a whole, she said, excuse me, the French West Indies. You make sure my vernacular correct. It's okay, Mama, I appreciate you. Because when we do it, and we do it well, it's a part of our legacy to be able to teach. And each and every one of these women have decided to offer their services and expertise to us today. So let's make sure that we give them everything that we got. Yes?
Yes.
So first off, I asked them, and I wanted you all to share, and you can choose who goes first. When you think about the thing that you overcame, that one thing that was the obstacle that you said, this was the thing that when I jumped that hurdle, it said, yes, I can do it. How many of us know that there are often hurdles that when we get a chance to jump over them, you look back and said, I made it over that?
Yes.
I'm a superstar. It doesn't mean you don't doubt yourself later on sometimes when something new comes. But you look back over that, you're able to say, I'm a superstar. So that hurdle was that thing. And anyone can choose who wants to kick it off first. Nikki?
Thank you. Hey, ladies.
Hello.
Thank you to these sisters for this wonderful conference. I had to take every opportunity to say that because this has been beautiful, beautiful. So thank you so much. I met some great people here today. So the thing that I think that holds a lot of people back, especially those that want to be entrepreneurs, is fear. So can I talk a bit about my business? So I just sold off the assets of my company. I owned a company that I started 7 years ago called Mallow Crunchies, and they are gourmet crispy treats. So we made marshmallow from scratch, good ingredients, really good mix-ins, that kind of thing. And I also own cafes called the Mallow Bar, so opened up a couple cafes. So we did sell our product through Whole
I'm sorry,
Foods.
slow down, Nikki. You said you got a couple cafes. Raise your hand if you would like to have a couple cafes so you can sell our assets too. Okay.
So they mentioned that, we sold our product through Whole Foods. So we were in the Mid-Atlantic region for Whole Foods, Harris Teeter. Before I sold the company, we had just gotten an account with Giant. So we were expanding. We were selling in a lot of different ways. But one thing that I think that I hear repeatedly, and it might not come out in the word, but in the actions, that holds a lot of people back is fear. A lot of people just do not move forward because of their fear. So someone was asking me a little bit ago, first of all, let me just say to you guys that I am a speaker. Okay, one of my sisters was echoing that back to me.
You are a speaker.
From our task yesterday. So guys, I have not been a speaker. This is my first speaking engagement. Now I've been invited to do a keynote speak next week, right? So I have not spoken before in front of a live audience. I've done tons of TV. I've done TV shows, national TV shows. But there's no live audience, so I'm not talking to anybody. You know what I mean? There's like 10 people there, and no one's focused on me and what I'm doing. They're focused on their task. The cameraman is making sure the camera's right. The control room is making sure all the boards are right. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really paying attention to what I'm saying, but you guys are looking at us, and you're like, okay, feed me. What you gonna offer? What you gotta say, right? So it can be a fearful situation. Now, Monica asked me to speak to you guys the other day. She said, would you like to? I said, yep. Now, it's not something I typically do, but this is pushing through fear, And there have been so many situations where I've had to do that, had to push through fear. And I think fear is a lack of confidence, right? And a lack of confidence is usually lack of knowledge. Because we have the knowledge, we get pretty comfortable. We're like, okay, I know all about that. I can talk all about that. But lack of knowledge is what holds a lot of people back. And a lack of knowledge is a lot of times lack of practice, right? But I think so many people think you gotta have all the knowledge before you jump. And you don't. You just have to take one step, Mathina was talking earlier about focusing on one thing. I have an online mentor, and he talks about, the acronym for focus is follow one course until success, right? So you got to focus on one thing. I was listening to Richard Branson, and he was saying that Richard Branson owns Virgin, the Virgin Group. He also owns an island, Necker Island, his own island. So he was in a board meeting, and the board meeting required that he talk about his balance sheet. He didn't know how to read a balance sheet. Now this is after Necker Island. This is after he had already started Virgin. So one of his people, talked to him in the hall, gave him a quick breakdown of how to read a balance sheet. And so took me aback because you look at somebody who's a billionaire, like Richard Branson, and so many people say, I gotta have a business plan, I gotta know how to read balance sheet, I gotta know all these things before I even start. So this man had started and built this huge empire and did not let something like that hold him back. So fear is, I think, the thing that holds people back, and you just gotta jump. You just gotta take one step forward.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you. And so I invited Nikki because how many of you have an expertise? Raise your hand really high. You have something that you can do very, very well with your eyes closed. You know you're at thebomb.com in it. But you don't even think about teaching it. You just think that everybody else is more qualified than what you are. And so what I've learned about Nikki, so she's walking into this new thing of speaking, but see, Nikki was teaching a long time ago. She was teaching herself. I walked into Nikki's office, Nikki and I did a one-on-one together, and I walked into her office and she's like, I have all my numbers together because I need to talk to the prophet. And I need to talk to Marcus Lemonis. Raise your hand real high, you heard Marcus Lemonis from the prophet. He goes and invests in business. Yeah, Nikki Lewis had a meeting with Mr. Marcus Lemonis, and I said, excuse me, ma'am. You had a meeting with who? About what? Who taught you how to do that? And so I invited you, Nikki, because this is your season to teach what you have already taught yourself. And so that fear, this is about your fear, right? How many of you are afraid of something? You're not saying what it is. You're afraid of something.
Yes.
If you allow your fear to encage you forever, hold on.
You ain't gonna get nowhere. Scared money don't make money.
Somebody take that punches.
One of the things that I had to deal with, one of the things that I had to overcome was the naysayers. Family are the first people to pull the rug out from under your feet. So you don't listen to them. Because they don't have nothing and they're scared for you to make something because then you're gonna leave them behind. So with that being said, I didn't have a fear, I had tunnel vision. And if you don't have that attitude of tunnel vision, you will let somebody knock you off your course. When you have a clear and defined vision of where you want to go, I will walk across water, step on people to get to what it is that I have to do. I ate oodles and noodles and hot dogs for the first 5 years of my business. And then I wound up with 3 salons at one time, my own product line, traveling the world. Why? Because I got tunnel vision. So, scared money don't make money.
I love it. And if you're hearing those clappers going off and people putting their hands up when they agree and they put 2 hands up and then standing up, that's because they've been here all weekend. So they'll hear how that goes. So when you hear something that you know is your truth, when you hear something that you know resonates with you, put your hand up. Let us know that we're not alone. Let them know that they're not alone. When you hear something and you're like, how do they know that? Put both your hands up. And when they start reading your diary, eating in your kitchen, just go on and stand up with both your hands in the air. So I would love to hear, right? Because we have some mamas on the stage and building business. How many are like, my children, but I got kids, but I have. So how do you push through that, or how do you include, because it's a part of who you be, into your business and profitability? And now his head is like, yeah. So now you wanna kick that off for us?
But of course. Just as I said before, I have 3-year-old twin toddlers. And I have to get myself together. Every time I say it and share with the world, I'm amazed myself. But what I will say, and the key is acceptance. And what I said to a lot of people is this: when you're a mother, nothing is planned. The life that was once yours has now become all about them. That's what we believe, and we become that, and we become lost. But what I will say is this: I think the biggest challenge that we have is when things are hit with us left and right, because we like control. We feel like control is very important, and then these little human beings come into our life and run us all amok, and we no longer have control. And so now we become consumed in the fact that we don't have control over the situation. Acceptance is key in motherhood. Accept that is no longer in your power. Control the things that you can't control and work on the things that you cannot. So the thing with the business that I had a goal in mind. I was 4 months pregnant, unplanned. I mean, we planned, but you understand, it's always unplanned. It was unplanned, and I remember I said, before I had kids, I said, okay, I'm gonna put out these videos, I'll raise the money. I got it all together. I'm like, I need to raise this money together, put out the videos, and then it's going to hopefully become successful, and that's just going to be the way to go. And then I got the money through Indiegogo. My supporters that started to believe in me years ago when I started to talk about the journey of being 200 plus pounds and being in shape, accepting your curves, because back then they were like, really, girl? No. But at that moment, I believed in that journey, and when I raised the money, I said, okay, now I'm getting ready to shoot. Found out I was pregnant. Even deeper than that, she said, 1, 2, you're having twins. Yes, when I recovered and slept on the ground, because you know how you just sort of fell out at the moment I heard I was having twins, I was like, oh God, this wasn't planned. And so many times what I realized with the lack of acceptance is that we become consumed in the issue. We're like, oh, this wasn't planned, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? But at that moment, and for the first time in my life, I was just like, well, this has to get done. Like, I can't be consumed with the issue. I accepted that I was pregnant. Acceptance. I accepted, and I said to myself, okay, well, I gotta get this video done. It has to get done now because I promised all these people that supported my video financially through this fund that I was going to produce a video. So I had no choice. That's what became my mindset. And we shot the video the first time, and it was a fluke. My head was cut off. I don't know what this production company sold me, but I was like, oh, what am I going to do now?
Raise your hand real high. You've tried something, and the first time you tried it, it failed. Okay, she's not alone. I'm just making sure we're checking the temperature.
No, I need you to keep on throwing those points out because it's key. And at that moment, I'm like, 95% of the funds were depleted. I was like, oh my God. But I promised to deliver this video. And at this point, I said to myself, I put everything to this video. How am I gonna get a job? Twins, newborns, I gotta be home, like what job that I'm gonna be able to provide for 2 kids? So in my mind, this was all that I had to do. Like I had no other choice. And by the time I shot the second time, I was 4 months pregnant. And with twins, I looked like I was 6. But I promised to produce a video, and somehow within me, acceptance, but more or less it became about having faith. Because I said, well, they believed in me before. I doubt that they'll stop believing the message that I'm trying to share with them because I have these 2 beautiful beings growing inside of me. Maybe I could reach even more people. We never understood why we're in the moment, why certain things are happening to us, you know. And if I had become consumed with the problem, I would have missed the bigger picture. I shot that video. My belly was showing. I never talked about it. I was like, girl, all right, left, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that, girl, she pregnant. But I never mentioned it to people. I shot that video. And 2 days later, I was in the hospital. Never shared this video. And I remember it's because I pushed my body beyond the limit. And I said, oh, this gotta work. So the video came out decently, and I remember I was in a very broken relationship at the time. And I'm gonna throw this in there because everything's gonna come together. It's gonna come together real quick, and I need you to catch it. When me and him, when I started talking about visions of what I wanted to be, he didn't really see it for me, so he was more discouraging than he was supporting.
Come on now, tell the truth.
Now, he became part of the issue. I didn't realize it at the moment, but he became more the issue. And when I started to evolve, I started to evolve from him. And when you start to evolve from him and from them, those are the same that will try to pull you away from where you're supposed to go. And I'm gonna tell you, I was 4 months pregnant and I saw this man 4 times after 15 years of knowing a person. But when you start to grow apart from people, they stay in that broken place and you start to heal and you start to see things for yourself that they didn't see before. I'm telling you, in so many issues that when I started this business, I remember sitting in the dark crying after shooting, after seeing the editing team, pregnant, going to these appointments by myself, wondering why these things happening to me. I thought I knew all these entities that were discouraging me and could have been the barriers that kept me from going where I needed to go. I just got to a place where I gotta keep on going. I mean, whether he's there with me or not, I'm gonna just keep on going. But I'm gonna tell you something. You know, I don't want to deviate too far from it. I'm gonna keep it right on course. When I created this business, there were so many reasons for me not to keep on the path. People, and when I say this with the relationships, because so many sisters are in their moment of glory. And when you are not with a person who's supportive, they can become part of the problem. I need you to understand that. And I was 4 months pregnant with twin boys, okay? And I continue on this journey being challenged left and right. And I said to myself, but I gotta keep tunnel vision. But I gotta put these videos out. I gotta do what I need to do. I was broken, I was hurt, but I kept focused. And that's what I was supposed to be, and that was the struggle. Because I always told, like I told you before, that was my test. And if I would have succumbed to what was comfortable, being in a relationship, or being with someone, but still feeling like you're by yourself kind of relationship, I would have never made it to my goal. So what I'm saying to you is once you accept the challenges that are before you, and realize that this is what's going to happen, and even the what challenges that you do not see, I'm not going to say it becomes easier, but it becomes clearer. Accept it. It's going to happen. And then figure out a plan of how you're going to work right through it. I'm a mother. I love my sons. I'm not with him, but girl, I am happy. Happiness is always the goal. And I'm living within my purpose, and my sons are healthy and they're strong. But if I would have discouraged myself from that, and if I would have been discouraged by the challenges that I had before me, on my mom, on this relationship, and working, everything else, I wouldn't be here today. So I'm sharing that with you for anybody else who might have elements around them that are not supportive. Understand that that is your test. And once you get through your test, it will become your testimony. Okay?
Yes. Your test to your testimony. She was speaking to you. Your hands is going up. You're standing on your feet. And so looking for opportunities, because when things like that come, we can often feel like we are no longer who we were meant to be. We lose ourselves in the process, and so clarity can give you direction. Yes?
Yes.
So beauty inside, beauty outside. You don't look like what you've been through, but guess what? You also may not look like what you're going through.
Hey, you need to stop.
Yes?
Go ahead, girl.
She gorgeous, my God. Let me talk about this outfit. But I would love for you to share, because we're talking about also creating your own entrepreneur blueprint. You took an industry that a lot of, how many of us know makeup artists, beauty people, fashion bloggers, stylists, right? But you took an industry that many would say is oversaturated, and not only carved a niche, you did the big old Grand Canyon size footprint in it. So take us there.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good
Happy
afternoon.
Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday.
Sisterhood, Black Girls Rock.
Yes.
Somebody nominate us.
24 years ago, I lost my job as a systems analyst, and I can so relate to you. I started my business. I own a spa in downtown Silver Spring, and I just started off in the corner as a nail technician. As a single parent, I knew that I had to feed my son. So speaking of the noodles girl, bread and butter. And I worked at night and 12 hours stocking, and then during the day, I was building my clientele. I got to work 5 a.m. in the morning, pulling people off bus stops just to give me a chance. Because back then, everybody went to the Koreans to get their nails done. People still do today. That's because those people, that's their choice. But back then people went to them. Fast forward, back in 2005, my mother passed away. And that was the hardest thing for me, period. And I looked at my life way forward and I said to myself, I wanted to create a legacy for my family.
One hand up.
And makeup, nails, beauty, I eat, I sleep, I drink it. So I launched my product line about a year after my mom passed by selling raffle tickets. I did it really grassroots. We sold raffle tickets to our clients, and I first launched only 4 lip glosses. And speaking of the market being saturated, I got a lot of that. The market saturated. I was struggling with my inner self. You know, talk about fear. I went through that too. And I just prayed about it. My family is my rock. My siblings are so supportive. They hold me strong. And they were like, Maisie, just do it. So when we first launched the line, we launched only 4 lip glosses. Now we have over 275 products.
Awesome.
We have a full line.
Awesome.
We just launched the product in Ghana. I just got back from Ghana about 4 weeks ago. I'm launching a product in Nigeria in July. I'm launching a product in South Africa. Got invited into South Africa. People came from Togo for the product launch in Ghana. I'm originally from Liberia. So talk about fear, talk about putting my footprint in the cosmetic line. At one point, I was so down about having a breakthrough into this market. And I called one of my best friends. And I said to her, I said, December is it for me. I'm only going to focus. I speak around the country in the beauty industry. I said, I'm only going to focus on my speaking, doing my celebrities that I do, and work at the spa. I said, I'm done with the makeup thing. It's just too much. And she hung up on me. So I really thought, the call dropped. So I called her back. I said, the call dropped. She said, excuse my language. She said, no, nigga, I hung up on you because the devil talking. When Jesus talking, you call me tomorrow. So,
Wait a minute, was that Malika that called you?
The next day I called her and I told her thank you for being such a great friend. And she was like, Maisie, you can't give up. You just got to hang in there. And 4 years ago, it was on my vision board that I wanted to be in Ghana, that I wanted to be in Africa. And 4 years now, fast forward, I'm there. It's not easy, by no means. When I went to launch my product line, it was the boldest move I've ever made in my career. I've made some bold moves, trust me. And for for 3 days, I was just so down. I felt myself slipping into depression almost. And I went to church. And the pastor, he didn't even know me. He just looked in my eyes and he said, I want you to know God got this. And the funny thing about it is the t-shirt that I made for Ghana, and the back of it said, God got this. So it was confirmation that God had it, but nevertheless, my flesh was still fighting with my faith. So, the makeup industry, yes, is very saturated, but there isn't a market for Black women. And I think that's where I fit in. And God has blessed me with a vision and the family that supports me and my clients that supports me on all levels. So I'm so grateful for that. And that's what has helped me move forward. And as an entrepreneur, I'm pretty sure all of us sitting here, as an entrepreneur, if you don't know Jesus, you will learn to love him, know him, and lay next to him. Because that is it.
What I've learned.
Let me tell you a little bit about my story. I am proud to sit up here on this stage and say that I've gotten fired from every job I've ever had.
Some of y'all got fired.
And that last job in 1993, I haven't had a real bunch of time job since 1993. And I looked at that last employer and I said to him, No longer will you be responsible for if I put gas in my car, or roof over my head, food in my mouth, be able to take care of anything, clothes on my back, anything. And I decided right then and there, me and the sister that's over there, we were waiting tables at Pargo's. Anybody remember Pargo's? I was marching around Pargo's with a tray, and I would make $17 worth of tips in the morning, take that $17, go to the beauty outlet, buy my products, and in my kitchen, I made $265. So when I decided to step out on faith,
Come on now.
and no longer did I used to go to work every day and try to make them fire me so that I could get unemployment. I worked already before I didn't get my back. I started out in my apartment and I had about this much of a kitchen. I created my own atmosphere. I had a chair. I had my Bob Marley playing, Exodus album playing on my little radio. I had my ginger tea and my lemon on this side, and I worked with, and I gave good customer service right then and there, right? Then I moved from my kitchen to a kitchen nook in a little townhouse. People were coming from everywhere. I had a little sign. I would go to the door, hold the sign up with the number, and the people were coming. They were sitting all in my air conditioning vent outside, all in their cars. I had a number system. And I told people, bring me $25, a Coke, and a sandwich, and I'll do your hair. I looked up one day, I had $3,000 in my cookie jar. I took that $3,000, bought a house, renovated the first floor of the house into a salon. I can write a book called Hustle 101. I chase people down the parking lot in Kmart to give them the card. Please come see me. I can do your hair in its natural state. No chemicals, no whatsoever. Nothing do you need? I can take care of you. Right here. Looked up, now how do we include the children? I started teaching all my baby cousins how to do it. I started teaching my best friends' children how to do it. Now you have Nappy by Nature, 1 and 2, that used to be out. All came from Dreads and Heads. Visionary Roots, all came from Dreads and Heads. Natural Elements, Natural Eclectic, all of those salons came from where?
Dreads and Heads.
So I got a long legacy here in Baltimore. Now I can show you how to do it without getting into hot. And all of those years, I still kept every email address, every business card, everything. And then I did what? Started my own marketing with Malika. You know about that, don't you,
Yes, I sure do.
We got clients here today in Healing Nation. I'm Healing Woman, Healing Nation from Minnesota because of my email marketing. Can you raise your hand right there? Came all the way from where? Minneapolis, Minnesota. So all of those things that I learned in corporate America, I applied for myself and used in my job. Now I teach here in Paris, London, Tunisia, French West Indies, Ghana. I'm going to South Africa. We're going to Ghana next year. I've taught here in Suriname, Belize. You name it, I'm going to be there because on every continent there's a nappy head waiting for me to come. Let's get gangster about it. Because those white folks in America is gangster about their stuff.
Yes.
And so we got to take a page out of their book and apply it for yourself, learn from them. You know, and then teach it to the next one. Nobody taught you how to flip a burger first. You didn't come out already knowing how to flip a burger. I didn't want my nieces and nephews to ever have to learn how to flip a burger. My sister been working for me for 16 years. You know, they tell you not to hire family, but you hire family and you kick butt at the same time because they can't share first. You know, there's a lot more I can show you about. I call it my Hustle 101. But I just want to show you, tell you again, my motto is scared money don't make money. I didn't go into hot. Every chair that was in my salon barely went up. I took mud cloth and I tacked it on the bottom of it. You know, I did all kinds of things, and I put in all that energy and effort for corporate America for them to fire me. I said, no longer will that happen. I'm gonna take all that energy and effort and put it into my business.
I love it.
Now, the devil does show up now. When you can't go to the movies because you got to decide whether you're going to pay gas and electric or telephone with the same amount of money.
That's right.
That same dollar, can do it go to food, do it go to gas, do it go to telephone bill, do it go to the mortgage. You know, so I can teach you a lot about that, but again, scared money don't make money.
And how many of you were in the entrepreneur session that we did earlier today about the 5 mistakes? What did we say, right? You have to be in action. Okay?
See, Malika didn't wait for somebody to give her permission. Some of you are waiting for somebody to give you permission, for somebody to give you the blueprints. Like that's why you
That's a
say
mentality.
right? She
That will
decided
hold
she
you
was
back.
going to make it up as she went along and did whatever she had to do. You have to sacrifice to get to the success so you can do what you want to do and be what you want to be. And I'm always so motivated by you because I'm like, how does she do all this at the same damn time?
I will sit with the luggage. I will sit with the luggage in a plane. I do not have to have first class. I just went, me and my international styling team went to the French West Indies with 3 extra suitcases each. 3 extra suitcases each. We made up our products, our first batch of products in our kitchen. I had about just enough clothes to make 2 or 3 changes of the clothes in a carry-on, and the rest I took the product, and we sold out of our product in 4 hours on the first hour. One thing you should also do is reinvest in that money. And go into your business with an attitude of servitude, not the attitude that I want to be the boss. Customer service etiquette. I even went so far as I couldn't figure out, there weren't too many good applicants out here now for my salon. So what did I do? I started teaching the young girls how to do it. I made my own new staff. I did a fun camp one year for girls ages 13 to 17. You can find them young girls on the front porch braiding hair, right? Well, I just brought them into my salon, cleaned them up, dressed them up, taught them everything from cash handling procedures to customer service etiquette, from the front porch, made my whole new staff all over again. Teach the youth because they don't have anything to unlearn and they're too stupid to steal from you. I can show you that too. Yeah, because the problem with us out here now is we stop learning. We stop learning. We want to be the boss. I know that. I know this. Go one day without saying I know and just listen.
Choose one thing to learn in the next 30 days. Homework. That's a growth work assignment.
Right.
That those who
Don't
are
say I know already. I know already. No, you don't.
really don't. So believe it or not, our time is running out. So I want to give each of our I want to give each of our panelists an opportunity to share with you a tip to keep you moving forward in creating your own entrepreneur blueprint and how you can stay in contact with them. Does that serve you? Is that
Yes.
okay? I know it went by really fast. I'm going to ask Anala to kick us off with that. I know it went by quickly, but you want to
So
stay in
the
contact.
reason we invited these women here is so that you know how to connect with excellence. The reason we invited these women to something called Heal a Woman to Heal a Nation Whole Woman Expo is because it's not always about who's in front of you or who you think you know. There are amazing women out in the world doing things that you have never even heard about. And I'm pretty sure you haven't heard of all of these women at the same time. Raise your hand really high if one of these women are foreign to you. You've never even heard of her. But she's dominating. You have to learn how to stretch yourself and go into different markets and do like Malika said, you have to learn how to hustle. When you want it bad enough, when you're tired of being hungry, you have to get that tunnel vision and say, no matter what, I'm going to do it. You have to decide to sacrifice and say, if I have to eat peanut butter and jelly, it's going to happen. So you do it now so you don't have to do it later. You do it now so your children won't have to do it later. But the object of it all is to do it anyway. Why? I said it earlier, can't nobody do it like you do it when you do what you do. Be committed. This woman was pregnant and had everything lined up and it was falling to pieces at the same time. And did it anyway and found support and found service. This woman had sold the assets to her business, but walked herself into Whole Foods and said, hello. Walked herself into Giant and said, how can I support you? How can I serve you? Let me tell you what I did. This woman decided, I'm going to go to the continent. Y'all say it's oversaturated over here, but let me tell you about the market that's over here. Nobody gave Malika permission. She said in her kitchen that looked like this. Raise your hand if you ever lived in a kitchen that looked like this. I know I did. And some people are still living in that kitchen. And I promise you, if you are still living in that kitchen, next year, it's your own fault. Because somebody just stood in front of you and said, I did it. And if I did it, you can do it too. So one tip, ladies, that you would tell your little sister, you would tell your big sister to get it together, that will forever change her mindset today to tomorrow, she can walk into her dreams.
Just listening to all their story, and I'm telling you, like-minded people, it makes sense when you're all in one building. One step back is one step forward. That's the tip that I'm going to share with you, because when I was pregnant and I had to ask my sister to help me pay the rent. I was doing the oodles and noodles thing. I was doing, and I'm a health professional, but I was just getting whatever I could afford at the moment to make sure that I was getting enough supplements and nutrients to the babies. But then they said, you gotta eat, and I just was eating enough for them because I didn't really have it. I just did whatever I needed to do to make sure that I could make sure there was a roof over my head and that I was eating enough foods. My sacrifice was that. And I remember at that moment, I said, when these boys come, I've never been a mother before in my life. Humility. I said, you know what? I know I graduated school, I'm supposed to be here, quote unquote, I'm supposed to be doing certain things. I said, I'm gonna move back home. One step back means one step forward. Humility. And I moved back home, and I was back in my childhood room with my twin babies, and I said, I gotta save money. I put out those videos in my mama's house. It looked all good on social media. I was in my mama's house. So I remember I put those videos out. I was 7 months pregnant, and I was saving money and everything else. And I was just like, if I save this money, everything, then I can do what I need to do, make sure there's money set aside so the boys will be okay, and I can continue to move forward and do what I needed to do. And those were the sacrifices that I made. And so I stayed at my mom's house for a year. Even after my sons were born, I moved out when the boys were 9 months old, and I was able to get myself an even nicer place than I did before. Now, if I would have stayed and said, well, that doesn't make any sense, I'm gonna move back to my mom's house and question those kind of things. But sometimes we have to humble ourselves. Those are the necessary steps that you need to do in order to move yourself forward. And I would have looked down at that opportunity. That was my humbling moment. There was still more teachings. There was still more things for me to learn. So never become discouraged with that, at all. And I moved back to my mom's, and I sacrificed, and I stayed there with my twin babies and let my mom help me so I wouldn't have to kick out daycare, because everybody know how much that daycare costs. And my mom helped me, who I'm so grateful for. Family is very important, because I don't trust really too many people with my babies. And even now my babies are with my parents. Thank the Lord that they're still here, but they're with my parents. But these are the steps I'd say that's an important tip, is one step back, is one step forward. So never be discouraged with certain things that you need to do in order to move forward.
Thank you. Madonna said something that I
Oh yes, and my contact information.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. If you go to www.anawa, A-N as in Nancy, O-W-A, Aja is the last name, ADJAH.com. So www.anawaaja.com. You go to any social media platform. On Facebook, it's Anawa, A-N-O-W-A. That's where I have 1.1 million followers. And any other social media entity, you can just use my name, Anawa Aja, and it's there. Thank you.
Thank you. One thing I got from what you're feeling now is something that my sister Madonna says very, very often, that success happens in failure too. Somebody needs to write that down. She just said she took one step back and had to learn to humble herself so she can get to where she wanted to go. And she made it up along as she went along. There's success in failure, because now you know not what to do. Now you know how to get through. You understand? Miss Nikki Lewis.
My tip is that opportunities abound. There are opportunities everywhere. It is a journey. We all have our stories of how we have hustled. It's a hustle. You don't get to success easily at all. There's sacrifices constantly. But when you get an opportunity, don't hold on to it so tight because you think that's the only opportunity. Opportunities are everywhere. Build your platform, work your platform, and you will be amazed at the things that come to you. So just real quick, story for me is Shark Tank is like the holy grail of proprietary businesses, right?
Yes, that's my favorite.
Yes. So every year, for 3 years, I applied for Shark Tank with my product. And every single year I was called by the producers to go to round 2 for the show. Last year I applied, the producers called again, I went to the second round, did all the work, it's a lot of work for the second round, did all that stuff. And they called me and they said, you didn't make it on this season, but we're definitely calling you next season because we just filled up, but we really want to get you on the show. So I sold my business, I sold Mallow Crunchies off just 2 months ago. A month after I sold it, Shark Tank called me. It's gone, it's sold now. I can't be on the show. So some people would get caught up in that and say, Lord, why you call me now, cursing them out, that kind of thing. But I just had to laugh at that because it was just a message to me to, one, be confident in your current platform, confident with what you're doing now. That was a test to me to say, you sure you want this? Because I could have said, I can start this back up. I still had the kitchen at that point. I could have easily started things back up and said, all right, if I'm going to get some money, there's an opportunity there. Let me go ahead and roll with it. But no, I'm committed to what's going on now. So that was a message to me that stay focused on what you have going on now, because what I know is opportunities always show up. So don't get caught up in one thing that you think is going to be it. So when I closed my business, what I transitioned into was teaching other people who have their own food product business that they want to launch and scale. My husband and I have a podcast called Biz Underdog to Top Dog. You know it. So we talk to people who, they talk about their underdog moments in business, and they talk about what they went through to get to the level of success that they're at now. And everybody has the same thing. Everybody goes through stuff. But so that's my platform, Biz Underdog to Top Dog. And with that platform, I teach people how to launch and scale their own food product business. I do that through an online platform with coaching, teaching through the podcast, with emails that we send out. So with that, I'm committed to that. And as soon as I made that commitment, opportunities started coming to me. You know what I mean? Speaking engagements like this one and some other ones that I've been asked to do. Clients started coming to me. Clients started coming. And who I didn't pursue. I hadn't pursued anybody. But it started coming. And that was just proof that once again, opportunities are everywhere. So that is my message. And how you guys can find me is by going to bizunderdog.topdog.com. And I do have a gift for you guys there. You go to that website, you can put in your name and email address, and you'll get something that I've written for you that shows the #1 way that I did monetize my product business. So you can get some of my top tips by doing that. Thank you, Nikki. That's Biz, B-I-Z.
What I would say is, for me, just having a spirit of excellence, being a student of life. I always tell people I am a green apple trying to be a red apple. My commitment to God. I pray about everything before I make my move. I've done it my way. My way clearly didn't work, so I have to go back to the other way. So, as she stated, stepping back and then moving forward, just not being afraid to listen. Sometimes we need to just be quiet and listen. You can learn from anyone. You can learn from everyone. Just knowing that the journey is a process. And you got to go through the process. Once you go through the process, there's another level. So as you climb, there's always going to be a process that you must be processed in. So I leave you all with that. My contact information is Maisie, M-A-I, S as in Samuel, I-E as in Edward, Dunbar, SpaLounge.com. On social media, I'm Maisie Dunbar. For my Facebook, my Instagram, my Periscope, all of that. I also have a blog. I have a TV channel on YouTube. It's Maisie D TV. I constantly post tips. as well. I have my book also on there, Faith, Fun, and Finance, talking about my journey of entrepreneurship. So those are the places you can find me. And I thank you ladies once again for inviting me. It's been an honor to be here with you all. It's such a blessing. God bless you all. Thank
you. You ready? Yes. God gives us 3 sights. This is my advice to you. The first sight, foresight. When are you going to operate in foresight? You got that vision. Put it into play. Work your vision. Insight. While you in it, know your business inside and out. From A to Z, double Z, know your business. Mind your business and mind your business. You understand what I'm saying? Mind your business and mind your business. Get that tunnel vision. Know your business from A to Z. Hindsight. Don't be one of those people that say, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Because while you was insight, while you were insight, you knew what you were supposed to do. Hindsight. Don't be one of those, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Or let somebody else knock you off your track. Get that tunnel vision. Operate in insight, operate in foresight, insight, and hindsight. No regrets. Do what you gotta do to make your business happen for you. All right? My name is Malika Tamu Cooper. I have MalikaTamuCooper.com. Many people find me on naturalhaircareexpo.com. If you write down this number, 55469. I need you to text message the word dreads, D-R-E-A-D-Z. That's D-R-E-A-D-Z to 55469. I do everything digital now. I have a company called Marketing with Malika. And that's also what you can look it up on too. Look me up on marketingwithmalika.com. There are so many ways to reach me. I collect data all day long so that I can put my business back out to you. That's called branding. Branding. Don't let anybody take your name. Once you got your business started, get your brand, get your logo, and everywhere you go, I got it on the sides of my car, it's on the front door of my shop, it's on my business cards, it's on my products. Brand you, and you will be successful. Thank you.
Wow, ladies, stand up and give it up for these wonderful ladies that decided to have their time. Give it up. We will give you their information if you miss their information. Thank you so much, Malika. Thank you so much, Nikki. Miss Nikki Lewis and the Port of Maya Oswald. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you so very much.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us. It's been an amazing day. You've been with Hilo Woman to Hilo Nation for our 13th annual event, and I'm so excited. Make sure you stay connected at hwhn.org. That's hwhn.org. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. And we have one final announcement.
All right.